Join the Ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Feet, Bure's Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Live from the 93.7 The Ticket studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Lloyds in Lincoln with former Syracuse Orange and Long Beach State basketball star Ramel Lloyd Sr. and current Nebraska basketball athlete Ramel Lloyd Jr. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Ramel Sr. and Ramel Jr. Brought to you by Canopy Street Market.
Canopy.
All right, welcome in to Lloyds in Lincoln. I'm Harrison running the 1s and 2s. We got Ramel Lloyd Jr., Ramel Lloyd Sr. as always, and it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah,
I think we were out last week.
Feel like I was missing for some time. Yeah, we missed last week, and we back though. We happy to be back. I'm happy to be back. How you feeling, young fella?
I feel good. I'm happy to be back too.
Yeah, and it was your birthday. Was it yesterday? Or
Yeah, yesterday. So.
Absolutely. So on text line 402-464-5685, if you want to wish him a happy belated birthday or ask about Nebraska hoops. Obviously, you guys had a close scrimmage yesterday. That was it.
Had a secret scrimmage.
Scrimmage. Yeah.
Secret scrimmage that I read about on Twitter from everybody, all the Husker fans.
But other than that, yesterday, obviously, you see Nebraska football, big win there. Volleyball gets another big win. Were you guys able to enjoy any of that yesterday, or what were you guys' kind of plans?
Yeah, we pretty much got to enjoy it all. I mean, I did at least. I'm not sure what Pops was doing, but I got to see the most of the football game. I got to watch the volleyball game, so it was good.
Yeah, for me, I watched the football at home for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to go to the game. Did you go to the game yesterday, Mel?
The football game?
Yeah.
No, I was watching it though.
Yeah, I got a chance to watch it a little bit. Happy we pulled away a little bit at the end there and got control of that. And then volleyball actually was down. We were out watching that game as well. The end. That was a good one.
Yeah,
good one. Good weekend to be a Husker, huh?
Yeah, it's one of those few mornings I woke up and I was like, I could check every single box and be like, we're winners today, period.
Everybody loves to win.
I say we like I did something, but
you're part of the Husker
right.
Nation, right? The supporters, the fans, the players,
Mm-hmm.
That's all part of what you want to call Husker Nation. So yeah, you can say we.
Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't realize it was 2017 was the last time that the volleyball team beat Wisconsin.
Jeez.
That Wisconsin kind of had that dominance over them, even though it's been 2 great programs. It's not like Nebraska's been bad before.
No,
it's just
sure.
the fact that Wisconsin's kind of had over that edge. And you guys see that girl? I don't want to butcher her last name, but she was like 6'9" for Wisconsin.
I saw that.
Yeah, we see.
I saw. What was her last name again? Oh, can you try?
Yeah, I gotta look it up. I don't know it quite off the top of my head here, but yeah, I was just like, Wisconsin's size was incredible.
Yeah.
Actually seeing that, like, compared to our girls, it's like, man, I can see why they're good.
Yeah. And it usually looks opposite, right? When you look at our girls' team, they usually look like the avatars on the court. And then yesterday, you see that Wisconsin, but they played a great game. Of course, they make the whole city proud as they They always do. I think we were out at a restaurant. I think we were at Tanner's last night.
Okay.
I was watching it
On
there.
the south side of town?
Yeah, south side of town, Tanner's. And it was like, being in there was like being at the game. Everybody was doing their Go Big Red chants and screaming and going crazy. Like they were just right at the gym, right at the arena. So pretty cool.
I mean, this is just incredible. You're going through this Wisconsin volleyball roster. It sounds like you're reading an NBA roster. You got a bunch of 5'6", 5'8", but then you got 6'3", 6'3", 6'9", 6'8", 6'4". Yeah, another 6'7". Yeah, the 6'9" girl, her name is Anna Smrek. Smrek, I believe that's how you pronounce it. And the 6'8" one is Sarah Damro, something like that.
That's
I don't want to butcher it too much, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just incredible the size they have. Like, if I didn't know any better, that would be reading an NBA roster with the height they have.
They can match up with y'all on the court, huh, Mel?
They sound just as big as we are.
Yeah,
They really are.
For real. It'd be a good matchup.
Yeah, it would be interesting to kind of see that height. But again, just shout out to Husker volleyball team, John Cook, to kind of get that one huge win. And now we are the new number ones, 19-0. That was also the first time that Wisconsin actually got pushed to 5 sets. I think that's kind of, when you're playing in volleyball in particular, I feel like when you're playing teams that just constantly dominate and sweep you every time, once those games kind of start stretching out.
Get a little pressure on them to finish that game off if they haven't been. It's like a boxer who, knock people out every fight, and then all of a sudden they in the 9th round start getting a little shaky.
Are you guys big boxing fans or UFC fans?
I'm a big boxing guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big on boxing.
Have you ever actually gone to a live boxing fight yet?
No, not recently. When I was younger, Pops took me to one, but I really couldn't remember like even who it was or like that. So, but
I think it was James Toney.
Okay,
James Toney, heavyweight champ. He was fighting one time in Inglewood. I think it's at the Old Forum or something. I took Mel, but we had good seats too. We was right, all the sweat was getting hit with sweat. That's when you know you got good seats, when you just get sweat on.
I'd rather not have that good seats.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
Blood and sweat flying everywhere. I'm cool.
I'm not a real big UFC guy though.
Yeah, UFC is cool too. They had a big night last night. They had some big fights. I watched like little highlights of those. Somebody got knocked out. Some dude kicked him in the face.
It's just savage. Like, the UFC is savage, bro.
Those guys have my respect, period. I don't, if you get knocked out in 0.2 seconds, I'm still just mad respect for you going out there.
I feel like the fights in UFC, it's so, I mean, it takes a lot of skill, but it's like, if you get hit with one shot and then he gets on you and hits you like twice, they call it. I feel like there should be like two knockouts or something, or two knockouts.
So you trying to have people killed?
No, because like dudes will get hit by like a little shot and they'll be dazed, and then they'll just call the fight. Like they won't even really be hurt.
So you want like a standing count, like boxing or something. You want a 10 count? No,
I would say like maybe if the person is able to get up and fight again, go for 2 rounds. Like 2 rounds, unless the person can't continue. Because people be getting up and they be fine. It's just they be knocked out for a second and they call the fight real quick.
To have people be killed.
No, I'm not.
So that's the only problem I have with that is there's going to be a lot of fighters that are going to be like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
the
good.
Fighters are never going to say
because they're just
good.
they're just
like warriors. You know what I'm saying? The doctors, somebody need to call and say, bro, that you had enough.
There has been times though where they hop in early. I do know
they
what you're
hop
talking
in really
about.
early, like really early. You don't really get a chance to like fight sometimes.
Yeah, the guy will hit the ground, and sometimes they'll think it's a knockout, and the guy just lost his footing.
If you get stuck with a shot and you fall down, the dude hits you twice, they start calling it, and he's not even really like done yet.
So how about instant replay? You go back and look like throw a flag out.
Challenge the stoppage.
Challenge the knockout.
Yeah, just watch the eyes, see if they dilate, and then that's the ruling.
Right, you can fight. You good to go.
His eyes were open. He's okay.
But what about volleyball game? Have you been to a Husker volleyball game yet? Because that's one I feel bad for. I don't go to enough. I've only been to one.
I haven't been. Actually, I've been to one. I think when I came here to visit Mel last year, I think I went to a volleyball game. But I haven't been back since. That's actually probably the hardest ticket in town to get.
I was looking at it yesterday. I was like, well, maybe scalp one. See what those prices. No, good luck.
It was like $500 to get in the arena yesterday. Did you was there though, right?
You said $500?
Yeah,
for a ticket.
$500 for a ticket.
I was actually talking to some of my teammates about this. We were like, the volleyball team should have played that game in PBA.
Yeah.
That Wisconsin game, that should have been in PBA.
That's the thing though with John Cook is he likes the Devaney.
he likes it.
Yeah, he'd
dope
rather
because
play
it's like
there.
really, it's compact and it gets loud.
Tight,
But I feel like a game like that, PBA would have been just as loud.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It would have sold out in PBA too.
Oh yeah. I mean, if we sold out Memorial Stadium, that number one Wisconsin coming in there. When again, I was just super happy to see John Cook finally get that win, beat Wisconsin, take them down. Because now you look at us, we're the number one, and if we meet them again, probably be on the other side of the bracket, so we won't have to deal with them twice. That's the big benefit of why you got to knock those guys down, be that 1 seed. Now, because Wisconsin will probably stay at 2, so it'll be the very last game deciding who gets in there out of the Big Ten. But nonetheless, if you guys want to join the show, 402-464-5685, Starter Heyman text line. And again, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo channel 951. We do have someone saying Sand Hill Quest said few former NFL players in the UFC. I'm blank. I can't think of one of the.
I've seen a couple. Haven't you seen them?
Like currently?
Yeah. I don't know currently. I'm not
sure. I know a lot of dudes like revert to fighting though after. Like when they certain.
Herschel Walker started to fight.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Herschel Walker, I believe, was fighting. I don't know if he's UFC or whatever.
I know someone like that started boxing, like Frank Gore be boxing.
Yep.
Frank Gore and what's his name? I forgot. Never mind.
Frank Gore's one. That'd be something good to look up over the break, though. But have you guys ever seen like the bare knuckle boxing? That's picking up a lot of steam now. That one to me is crazy.
That one's crazy.
It's all crazy.
Have you seen the slap? The slap thing?
Oh,
they just stand there and slap each other?
It's ridiculous. That's not even a sport. I don't know what that is.
It's weird because it's just like whoever gets the best concussion wins.
Yeah, that's just not a sport.
This is a lot of brain damage.
Yeah, it's just all headshots.
No reason. It's not a sport. Like
I don't see the entertainment value.
Don't let me start that.
I can watch it out of like curiosity.
I'm not gonna lie though. If I'm like scrolling through TikTok and one of those videos come up, I'm definitely sitting there.
But that's because they only show the funny ones.
Yeah, they only show the good stuff.
They only show the one. Well, I guess funny is relevant, but
no, it's funny. I mean, they do it. They get paid to do it. I can laugh.
That's true. The way that some of them get knocked out is kind of funny.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Definitely need to go to UFC.
Let's say entertaining. Let's say funny.
Hilarious.
Out on slap boxing though, I don't think we'll ever go to one of those, but I will see it if it shows up on my feed. I'll definitely check it out. UFC is still probably the king for me. I am curious, kind of like with pro wrestling and UFC, how those guys figure it out. Because you're seeing a lot of UFC fighters. I feel like they're trying to get into that pro wrestling world, which is what they should do.
Pro wrestling, like pro wrestling?
WWE.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no really. That's kind of the biggest bummer.
Yeah, I was like,
there is no pro wrestling.
That's weird. So what are these kids like? Our wrestling team here is outstanding as well. So what do they do when they're done with college?
I don't know. It's really tough for them because there's not a whole lot of pro leagues. So like a guy like Jordan Burroughs, the best of the best, he can make a career, go to the Olympics, get sponsorships and deals. But for the most part, I think you got to find a way to make sponsorships, money.
Wow.
There's no real pro wrestling league. There's probably leagues you can join, but if the money's worth it, that's kind of the question. It's kind of a weird thing.
That's interesting.
There's no track for those guys.
I know the wrestling is like big here in the Midwest and big in here in Nebraska as well. I actually went to a wrestling match here, went on a visit as well. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it was just as exciting as any other sport that I watched. And that was like my first time ever going to see wrestling.
Yeah, it's intense.
It's amazing.
I think the biggest problem with wrestling is the ruling. So like if you're not a former wrestler or an avid wrestling fan, it's pretty hard to tell who's winning.
Right, to know what's going on.
Yeah, because you just see
I was with
points
the boss
going
man.
up on the board.
DP took me and he just explained everything that was going on there. I was like, oh, what happened here? And he explained, but if somebody explained it to you and you start to watch it, you can figure it out.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, but it's like those athletes. I mean, they're some great athletes. Like it's they don't get the credit that they deserve. When you go see that thing, when you go see that in person, you're like, wow, you get a whole different kind of respect for what they're doing.
Well, the discipline for the nutrition.
Yeah, that's what. Well, first of all, that's what I would fail right there. I'll be done anyway with that. The food they got to eat. I couldn't be no wrestler.
Were you guys ever thought about getting into wrestling? Or did anyone ever try to get you into wrestling, telling you try it?
Nope.
It's not really
straight. Wait, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's just not as big in the coast like that. Like
because I know in the Midwest, everyone they want you to try it.
Of course, like I didn't have a wrestling team in high school in New York.
I didn't either.
And he don't have one. And he didn't have one in Cali. So
Wait, really? Even the high schools didn't even have a
I
wrestling
don't think
team?
I had one at any of my many schools.
That surprises me.
No.
I just thought that was like standard for every school.
No way.
Because I'm thinking like my class of 40 and we have a wrestling program.
No way. We don't even have wrestling in the whole district.
Well, that makes sense why the Big Ten dominates then,
Yeah,
with
because
Iowa,
everything
Penn
is
State,
Midwest.
Nebraska.
Yeah, everybody stays home.
Yeah, but like I guess like I'm an East Coast guy. I guess there was some wrestling. I think about it because up in like Pennsylvania area, you know, it's very big. But I just, especially being in the inner city, you know, it was more. Actually, we football wasn't even a big deal for us.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
You go to
football
you see
wasn't
some
even-
NFL games in California, and them seats be looking pretty barren.
Yeah, well, I think that's just football is big in Cali now, but
Football is the best in Cali.
Yeah, I just think that because there's so many different things to do in California, you don't see it like the college sports get their fair share of fans. But as far as football in New York, at least when I grew up, you know, a lot of it just have to do with the space and the fields.
Yeah,
you know, it's not like we don't have a lot of fields, didn't have a lot of space, so we play basketball. You know, that was your main sport pretty much.
Speaking of the East Coast, did you guys see USC take the loss yesterday to Utah?
I heard
Pac-12. Utah just
You saw
keeps
that?
winning.
But
the
Utah
Pac-12.
always beat USC for some reason, right?
Yeah,
They
it's
have
just
their number.
Yeah, Caleb Williams is 0 for 3 against him.
Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, sometimes it just be like that, I guess.
And now he's, you know, probably out of the Heisman race. That's probably
All right. He already got one.
He already got one. He's okay.
People be saying like, "Oh my God, he's out of the Heisman race." Like,
what surprised me was like a lot of
okay.
the social media, like some of the fans were saying it'd be smart for him just to shut it down
Yeah,
already.
I saw that. I did see that.
What's your guys' take on that? You know, because it is his career.
I mean, if I was him, I would think about it for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not gonna make a bowl. Apparently, they're probably about to get dropped out the rankings.
Yeah,
he's
they'll
out
be
the Heisman.
Towards they'll probably be like 25. I don't think they'll be fully drop out.
I mean,
maybe on the fringe though. They might be out.
They took. I mean, was that 2 losses in a row?
Yeah,
they might drop them out.
It was,
They were
at
already
least
at
to
18.
it was to at least a ranked Utah though that came close. Is why I think they might still. Keep them in
Utah
there.
was ranked as well.
Yeah, I think
Utah was good, Pop.
I think they were 18 and USC was 15, or I got them swapped.
I think it's the other way around.
Yeah,
I think Utah was supposed to win the game ranking wise.
Okay, so they were 15, and then Utah was 18.
14 and 18, I believe.
Yep. Yeah, it's just crazy that Utah keeps winning.
Tough, man, about him sitting out. It's just
why not?
No, I'm just saying it may be a smart business decision.
Yeah,
because especially in football, you know, football is such a violent sport. So
yeah, we saw
to
with
get
Tua.
hurt, you know?
It can be scary sometimes.
Yeah,
I mean, they got the best freshman QB in the country on the bench.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe he need to make a deal with the freshmen or something.
Yeah, I would just. I mean, yeah, I know the freshman is like, Coach, I'm ready.
Yeah,
and he gave me some early reps. His year over with. Let me get some early reps
for real.
That'd be one where I'd have to catch the vibe of the team. Like if my team gets what I'm doing, but that'd be the hardest part because it's like you're still part of the team. You're sacrificing. You know, you work together to that whole season. So for you to, you know, you have the future, so you can pull the plug. For some of those guys, you know, that's it. That's their season. You know, they might not have the potential to go to the NFL or even the XFL, and they're just there trying to get every last bit out of the ride.
That's a really, really tough question. We should dive into that a little more and think about that because, like, what do you do? Like, you know, from a fan's standpoint of view, we watch it from the outside in. We could easily make that decision, but you know, if I was that young man, you would look at it totally different.
Yeah, it's the money on the
right?
line. That's your career, your
career
future
on the line. Yeah, I don't know. Does it affect his draft status? Do the NFL teams feel like that he
would probably be the number 1 pick in the last 10 drafts,
regardless?
Yeah, I don't think it
if
matters.
I'm the number 1 pick and this situation has come up, I would probably lean towards shutting that down, maybe.
Yeah, see, like as a fan, like selfishly, I would think like you owe it to your team not to shut it down. You know, because you are. You know, you're getting showcased through that team that's kind of let you get that draft stock. And given like it's not, he's putting the work in, you know, he's still got to play. But to be on that team, the coaching staff to trust him, to keep putting him in those positions to succeed. But I also like, I wouldn't be upset if he did lean the other way. Like I would get it.
You would understand.
I would understand.
Right? You would hope that he would play for selfish reasons as a fan to watch him play and, you know, continue to marvel at his greatness. But, you would understand if he, you know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
100%.
Honestly, I think I would think he wouldn't shut it down.
You don't think so?
Because one, his last 2 games, he wasn't that great, and I don't think he would want to end it on that. Plus, they got Washington, Oregon, and UCLA coming up.
Oh, those are big
So they got
games.
they got 4 more games, and those are 3 of them. So I would want to play regardless, and just end it on a good note against some good teams instead of ending it. Especially with just, I mean, I know it's football, you can get hurt any moment, but 4 more games, I guess you could.
Yeah, I mean, it's sports. You can't predict about injuries regardless. I mean, you know, that can happen anytime. He could get hurt in practice, you know, who knows? But I guess that's a risk you take when you play sports in general. You know, it's being injuries is just part of the game, as we know.
Have you guys ever gotten a concussion?
I have not.
Nope.
I mentioned basketball.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I have not gotten a concussion. Yeah, I guess we didn't have so much concussion protocol back in my day. Like,
yeah, it was. Yeah, in your day,
hitting the head, you just got up and you kept playing if you could play. Like nobody cared.
Your era was crazy because they wanted to suppress that for a while. They're like, "What do you mean? No, there's no science behind it." And then finally, some people, you know, with their heads on right, were like, "We should actually take a look into this.
Take a look at it
because it doesn't make sense that all these NFL linemen are dying in their 50s, 60s. Yeah. It got to a point where it's like you need to do something. Yeah. Like something's off. And the helmets have gotten better. All of that technology's helped tremendously. Because I remember my first helmet, man, they were rough. I was like the cutoff before they start getting like the Speed Flex, Speed Revolutions. Like I had like the padding where you got to pump them up with air. Nowadays, they're comfortable. But those first few helmets, you had just the crossbar for the grill.
I remember I played my young days. I played nose guard when I first started playing, man. And I tell you, like I love football, but I hated like the practice because every day I would come home and I would have excruciating headaches. So maybe I did have some concussions, It was like just from practice. Like, we would, as a nose guard, you just right on that line and just
over and over.
Every play. And I would come home and I'd be like, man, I got a headache every day. And I'm talking, I'm a young kid. I'm probably like 9, 10 years old, something like that. And that's why I quit football, actually. I was like, nah, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah, we had I remember we had he was a really good player on our high school team, and he wasn't going to go to college or anything, but Nebraska, he was a solid player, definitely made a difference. And yeah, he pulled the plug too, because he called it mashed potato brains. He just walk around and be like, dude, I don't know what's going, but I just got brain fog. Yeah. And people gave him like a really hard time for him at first. Like, come on, man. And then as people got older, matured a little bit, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, you understand.
I get where you're coming from.
Ouch. I just hurt my knee on this damn thing.
It hit different.
Yeah, I'll never forget my first concussion. I was same place. I was probably coming in at like $160, and they put me on the D line going up against a senior. He's coming in at like 210. First play off the ball, just gets on. I'm on my butt immediately.
On the D line is crazy.
That's what I was looking at my coaches like. I was like, I don't know what this guy isn't going to get better. I'll tell you that much.
Oh man,
yeah, because he was being like real nice because he could tell. He's like, I could just dominate this guy at any second. And then the coaches started kind of getting on him like, come on. And I was like, don't tell him that. And then I was on my.
He was one of your teammates. He was on your team.
Yeah, he was. It was just practice.
Oh, it's practice. Okay.
Which is why I was surprised. I was like, what's he getting out of this? Right. I ain't pushing this guy around.
Right. Yeah.
But it's. I'm glad that people have started to figure out that they're figuring out the concussion protocol, and with Tua, it's a little scary, but at least it's getting taken seriously now.
Yeah, for sure.
And we did have Dr. Rasden. It was really cool. If you didn't listen to it, Old School Podcast, I think it's just labeled Dr. Rasden. He went into detail about concussions in football with Jay Foreman. It was pretty interesting, like to hear the different levels of concussion and like how the problem is when it rattles like violently to a point, like it can literally rewire your brain. So you might be crying for no reason, and that's why you'll see sometimes when people get concussed, they'll come back and they'll start crying.
That's
like they're not sad, they're not in that much pain, but their brain is just
fried.
Yeah, it just got shaken like crazy.
Why you didn't play football, son? I kind of try to steer him away from it myself.
Because I didn't really have any push to play anything else really but basketball. It was just straight basketball. I was too young to even think about like, maybe I want to do this or that. I was just pretty much following what my dad did, and so I didn't think about it. But I mean, sometimes I say I wish I played, but I'm actually cool on getting hit every day. So.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I mean, we used to play, 2-hand touch now. That was the best. Our tackle in the snow, like when it snowed back in the day when it actually used to snow a lot in New York, and they would, we would close school down. We couldn't wait. We wake up in the morning, we see the weather, and you like, man, I hope you listen to the news, hoping that they close school.
Yeah.
As soon as we got the word that they closed school, everybody started putting on all their gear, and we knew that we were going to all meet in the street and play tackle football in the middle of the street.
I do miss that, that these high school kids don't got to sweat it out anymore. They know the day before they get a tweet on social media and they can find out. There's nothing better
So
than...
you was in that era too where you had to wake up and listen to the news?
Sitting in front of the TV, you're just seeing
You don't
on
know
the
nothing
slider.
about that.
Nope. I got that great Cali weather. We never canceled school. But we did have them fires, and I was out of school for a couple months.
Oh, yeah.
I'll say this much, though. In Nebraska, it was like, did we get more than a foot? No, you're going to school.
You're still going to school. Yeah, that's because you're used to it. It's like
people got trucks. People's vehicles are equipped. Like when it happened in Texas, everyone was like freaking out.
Yeah, like if we having like an inch of snow and then they shut everything down because it's not used to it. But I'll take the snow over those damn fires that we had in California. That was.
I mean,
were you guys around for that? Seeing those?
Yeah. We lived like right outside of our door. Like you could just see the flames like from a couple miles away.
That's great. We need to dive into that because I did not realize, because that thing went on forever too. It was just kind of scary because it's like when you're, in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska, and you're seeing like the smoke in the air traveling all the way, and you're like, it's dark up here. Like all that smoke's traveling. So we'll dive into that.
Yeah,
next.
we'll definitely talk about that a little more when we come back from break.
Absolutely. Lloyds in Lincoln. I'm Harrison, 1s and 2s. We got host Ramel Lloyd Sr., Ramel Lloyd Jr., both in studio. We got a couple more segments. We'll talk to you guys on the other side.
It's not often a man wakes up and says, I feel the best I have in years. We hear this all the time at Limitless Mail. And it can happen to you when you go to Limitless Mail and get a blood test to see what your body is missing. That's how simple it is. Schedule a free consult with Limitless Mail. Discuss your symptoms. Do the blood test. If your lab results say you're low in testosterone, we can fix that. Age is just a number. You can feel your best again. Just ask Limitless Mail.
If you struggle with joint pain, there's good news. You don't need surgery to get back to full health. South Point Medical and Aesthetics offers breakthrough non-surgical options for treatment of moderate to severe joint pain. Our patients experience little to no downtime from our procedures, and the results are remarkable. They've had 14 years of successful treatments with patients from 35 states because of an effective word-of-mouth traffic. Learn more about how you can get lasting results for joint pain today at southpointmedical.com or call 402-323-8400. At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends. Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness specialize in getting rid of people's pain quickly and permanently. For 31 years, they've been extremely successful with advanced techniques in pain relief using spinal adjustments and decompression, detoxification, diet and lifestyle modification, and more. They are fully equipped to handle the most seasonal athlete, weekend warrior, car accidents, strains, sprains, and more. Is there anywhere you're experiencing pain on your body, or are you fighting decreased energy and depression? Consult Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness first at 402-476-8619.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Yes, the rest of the roster has to elevate the quarterback, but the quarterback also has to elevate the rest of the roster. Haven't seen from Heinrich Haarberg yet. I'm willing to give him the rest of the year. I'm willing to say that he can be the guy next year, but then you have to have realistic expectations in mind for Nebraska, and to me, that's 6 or 7 wins.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me, I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Yes, the rest of the roster has to elevate the quarterback, but the quarterback also has to elevate the rest of the roster. Haven't seen from Heinrich Haarberg yet. I'm willing to give him the rest of the year. I'm willing to say that he can be the guy next year, but then you have to have realistic expectations in mind for Nebraska, and to me, that's 6 or 7 wins.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sunday morning. It's quiet. Not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Beep, beep, beep.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Lloyds in Lincoln with your hosts, Ramel Lloyd Sr. and Ramel Lloyd Jr.
All right, welcome back in Lloyds in Lincoln. I'm Harrison, running the ones and twos. Host as always, Ramel Lloyd Jr. and Ramel Lloyd Sr. both in studio. And over the break, we kind of talked about the exhibition between Doane, Nebraska. I think it's just Doane, right? Just Nebraska and Doane. I think those ones, just that game.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So that's October 29th. And again, that one's going to be available to the public. So if you want to go see that, get an early preview. We talked about, we have some Doane athletes on here as well. So it's kind of fun to hear the friendly back and forth banter that's going on. But nonetheless, definitely check it out October 29th. But we did talk about that you guys were actually close to those California fires, which I was unaware of. And apparently, right, you could see the flames from the front door.
Not close. We weren't close. We were in the fires.
In the middle, yeah.
Yeah, where we lived was pretty much right where everything was burning down.
Like that northern?
No, this is in SoCal.
This was a SoCal one. This was
in the valley.
This was about 5 years ago in Southern California.
Your freshman and sophomore year.
It was my freshman year.
Sophomore year too.
But the bigger one was my freshman year.
The bigger one. So
that's just crazy to even
Calabasas
say the bigger one.
area. Yeah. Well, because
we went through two crazy wildfires.
What people don't understand is that there's the fires are just like earthquakes. Like there's earthquakes all the time. You just can't feel them, right? And the fires are the same way. Like there's always fires, but some of them just get really big where it becomes national news. But there's always fires happening, right? Because the area is so dry.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of like barren areas, and sometimes it happens naturally because it's very windy over there as well.
Yeah, you get that brush fire.
Yeah, sometimes it's just because of like some people start the fires, like they're
not listening to the Smokey the Bear.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the problem. I think just not assuming, but understanding over time, like when they finally find out who people are, a lot of them are like some of the homeless people in the area start the fires, or some people that don't have mental capacity is not right, living in the streets, things of that nature. And it just takes like a cigarette butt or something, just to throw in
especially
that area.
During certain times, because it'll be super hot and super windy at the same time.
So do they know, is it mostly natural causes or is it just accidental?
I think it's mixed. I think it's mixed. A lot of it is well, obviously the natural part takes over once it's kind of started, right? Like, so if you just flick a cigarette somewhere that's not as dry, not as hot, etc. But if you put it in that area where they are, it's the natural part is going to take over, because we don't get much rain either. It's always a drought.
Yeah. And then just a lot of those dry parts is like up in like the mountains and stuff like that. So it's like really hard to even it's super windy up there, and then it's hot, but then it's really hard to even get to the fire for real because it's in these like big spaces, basically.
You need to get those helicopters out there.
Yeah, they do. And if you know California, if you know what the landscape looks like, those places a lot of the high end places where people live are in the middle of those areas where there's absolutely nothing around. People desire to be high on the mountain or away from, the regular society, whatever. So what happens is like, for instance, in your freshman year was Calabasas.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it was all the super big,
Calabasas
rich houses.
is one of the areas where, a lot of celebrities live, and it's a high end area. And that's, I think at the time, Ramel was going to school at Calabasas High School. So it was like right in the middle of it, and we lived down in that area. So it was crazy.
So what does that look like? What are they telling you to do when that, like, what's the kind of
evacuate?
Yeah,
evacuate. When you're in the middle of the fire, you just got to drive through it, or what?
Got to evacuate.
Or do you like call and sit tight and have someone get you?
Well, was I in school when it first started?
Yeah, well, when you first started, I think you were in school, and they got the kids out of school early, and they closed the school down. But when you're in certain areas and the wind is blowing in certain directions,
it's terrifying. I've seen some of the videos.
They don't know where the fire is going to go, which way, which not. So if it's just in the general area, you're going to have to evacuate because you don't know when it. Like the fire one of the fires had got like close to our house where it was like probably like 5 miles away.
But it wasn't 5 miles. It was closer than that.
It was,
and we
close enough where you're worried about your house catching.
No,
yeah.
So we kind of lived up in the mountain a little bit too, and the fire probably was about 2 miles away from us. And then what happens is the area is so windy that they take the electricity out, right? They shut it off because the wind will knock down the lines,
the power cables,
make the fire even bigger.
Yeah, then you got a real problem.
So they cut those off. And when we were coming out of my place, my car, I remember one time we had to evacuate. We was told to evacuate, and we have a house in Long Beach, our main house, but where Ramel went to school at was in the valley in that area, and we had an apartment, and we stayed there so he can go to school, and we were evacuating back to Long Beach area. The car, and my car was in my garage. And of course, you need the electricity to open the car. So, well, first of all, let me get back to the story a little bit.
No.
This dude right here, right?
Don't go there. I knew you were going to go there. Don't do that.
So Ramel, if you know Ramel,
don't do that. He's
the slowest person ever in the world to get dressed. Ever. Right? I always lie to him and I tell him we got to be somewhere like 30 minutes earlier just so he could almost be on time. So that particular night when the fire hit, we said, I got up, I said, son, I don't know, it was probably like 1 a.m. or something like that.
I was born ready.
I said, we got to go. And probably like 2 minutes, I'm getting stuff together. We're gathering all our important information, passports, documents, all of this stuff. And I turn around and I look at the door. My man is packed with like 2 bags. He got 2 bags. He's standing at the door. He said, let's go, I'm ready. Let's go. That was probably one of in the midst of all of that was probably the funniest thing that ever happened. I've never seen him he was completely dressed with 2 suitcases packed at the door.
At 1 a.m.
When I walk outside and I see an inferno in the middle of the mountains and the wind has to be going 30 miles per hour.
It was dangerous.
I'm out of there.
Don't need to second
So we come outside.
This is not a movie. I don't need to see this.
You look over your building. You look over the top of the building. All you see is flames hovering over and dark clouds everywhere, ashes falling, look like snow.
And then there's no power, so it's dark.
Yeah,
it's super dark everywhere.
Yeah, people trying to, everybody's trying to get out of there at the same time. So
that's what scared me the most is like LA, anytime you got to evacuate such a highly populated area.
Yep.
But we were lucky. I mean, Ramel's schools over especially by Cherry Canyon, I can remember. We had to do like drives to help people. A lot of our people and friends and neighbors lost their houses. And we had to do like we donated clothes, donated books, whatever you can to help some of those families get through those losses. So yeah, it was definitely not great times. But we were lucky and fortunate that we had a house in the Long Beach area, which is by the water. And usually
fortunate to have another spot to go.
We got out of there. Our place didn't burn up. They got it before it went to where we were, but Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I mean, it shaped Ramel's whole high school career between the fires and the COVID. I would say that he probably actually went to school about 2.5 years out of 4.
That's just
was
crazy
able to go to
about.
school about 2.5
Yeah, was
years.
able to go to school about that amount of time.
So how long were you out of school with the fires going on? Because I mean that thing went on forever.
Months. Actual months.
They closed school down for months.
Was it the same year that Australia was burning up, or was that the year prior?
I'm not sure.
There was a fire in my sophomore year too.
Yeah,
I remember we
at
had a
That
it was
was the
mid-season.
playoff
We had
game.
to start we had to practice somewhere else because we thought our schools.
Yeah, school was cut down. So your freshman year was Calabasas, which was a big one. They shut it down for a long time. And then Taft, when you were at Taft in the Valley,
it was like 2
that was right when the playoffs was getting ready to start and the break and all that.
Yeah, that happened, and then we finally got back to play playoffs. And then the next day, COVID happened after the first playoff game.
And then that was it. That
And
shut
then everything
down.
was shut down, especially in California. Our lockdown was OD.
Yeah. So you didn't get to school again. You were homeschooling for like a whole year out of that time.
I'm not really mad about that. Yeah, I'm not.
It was a difficult time. But what it really did also, what a lot of people don't know, is that it really affected the recruiting process.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Not for me.
So, well, I mean, you were one of the lucky ones where we.
I know, but you said it like it was for me. That ain't true.
Well, it affected us in a way where we couldn't go to our traditional visits during the times that we traditionally would go to visits, right, and build those relationships and see the schools. So that's where it affected you at, because what we were doing that year they extended the playoffs in California because the big break. So they were literally still playing playoffs in May. June.
That's crazy.
But I mean, I still got my 5 visits in though. So
but you got we did 5 visits like in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In June. Not so now we go into the campuses where where there's no kids on campus. You don't really get to feel the real atmosphere of what's going on at the school. We did them all like back to back that junior year. I think you missed a playoff game one time when we went to Georgetown.
Yeah.
Had to miss a playoff game it was just a weird time.
Yeah, just had to stack them in there.
Had to stack them in as much as we can. And then there's still a lot of uncertainty about COVID, if it was going to return or if we will ever even get back to other campuses.
I think we're still uncertain.
We didn't. Yeah, still right. We still not out of it.
So, I'm sorry. Somebody just parked across the street. And that's not a space.
They got the ticket guy.
We did have Matt Rule walk by the window earlier.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he had head down, did not care to look in. Smart move if you're him. Because if he looks into the window at a sports radio station, he knows someone's probably going to try to get him in here.
Yeah, that's funny.
He had a hoodie on?
He had the cap on. He was incognito, but he was also walking his daughter. So it wasn't the time to go out there and let him be with the family after a good Husker win.
Oh, yeah. I think I see Matt Rule all the time around.
I see him a lot. He's he doesn't
he's out, right?
hide himself. Yeah, he's out to the public.
That's crazy. I've never seen
him a couple times.
I've probably about 3 times leaving work I've seen him. He's always walking his dog. I assume it's his dog. He's taking him out.
Down here in this area, downtown area?
Yeah, it's usually kind of, I want to say last time I saw him, I was walking past a movie theater. I think he just walks around downtown. He's I will say this much, like, not that it's a bad thing, but like I never saw Scott Frost, and to each their own, right? But it's kind of cool to see the head coach be like that public figure that's super approachable. Like if you wanted to talk to him, I'm sure he'd give you the time of day. He's not going to shoo you away.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I know my college coaches wasn't like that. Only seeing my college coach at practice, barely. And if you seen him in the street, he wouldn't speak to you anyway.
Well, some of them they get that status, and it's like I'm winning.
Yeah,
so
I got a lot of stories about that one. That's maybe for another show.
You have a Boeheim show?
Oh, I can have a whole Boeheim story. Sure.
Maybe we can dive into that one next. But we got to go to our final break here. Again, Lloyds in Lincoln. I'm Harrison. We got Ramel Lloyd Sr., Ramel Lloyd Jr., host as always. And again, you can always check out 1040 O Street. The mill isn't open today, though. Does not look like.
No.
So no coffee. But again, want to see the on-air talent, you can still do that at the very least. But we'll throw it to break and talk to you guys on the other side.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club or space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? No, forget that. How about a margarita club? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge and join the best club in town. 10 flavors of margaritas like Maui Wowie, burnt pineapple, and mango tango. Try all 10 of them and receive your own souvenir margarita glass. Make it your new Monday night tradition. $4 margaritas and $4 taco baskets. Grab the crew and head on over Monday nights or any night. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planting season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
So, yeah, that sounded like Heinrich's the guy. I think he said again, Heinrich's got to improve his conditioning, which is one of the most confounding things I've heard. He looks like a decathlete. I mean, he's not a dumpy quarterback.
Oh, he runs.
I mean, he's one
fast.
of the best looking athletes on the campus.
Look at the run he had for the touchdown in that game. He looked pretty
Look
fast.
at the dude. How could his conditioning be bad?
What is this about?
It might be about that they asked him to do about everything.
He's carrying 20 times a game.
Right.
He's a quarterback.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Fall for savings at Bonsall Pool and Spa. Beginning October 13th, customers can take advantage of great cash and financing options on hot spring spas. Get up to $1,000 off a new High Life Collection spa or $500 off a new Limelight Collection spa when you pay in full, or get 0% APR for 60 months when you finance. This amazing offer ends October 23rd. Visit them at 33rd and Pioneers to learn more on how you can fall for savings at Bonsall Pool and Spa.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
So what's this new concept happening at 1040 O Street? There's 93.7 The Ticket, there's the Mill Coffee and Tea, and there's Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery? Well, yeah, it's all of those things. It's a place for the community to hang out, grab a drink and a bite, and just chill, or work, or meet, or chat, or whatever you want to do. 93.7 The Ticket, the Mill Coffee and Tea, Grandma's Bake Shop and Beatrice Bakery, all together at 1040 O Street.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Lloyds in Lincoln with your hosts, Ramel Lloyd Sr. and Ramel Lloyd Jr.
All right, welcome back in Lloyds in Lincoln. I'm Harrison running the ones and twos. Host as always, Ramel Lloyd Sr., Ramel Lloyd Jr., both in studio today. Ramel Lloyd Jr., I know last time the traffic, you were having a tough time. Has it gotten better since you're on air? As you trying to get the headphones on?
Yeah, I would say so. I think I haven't had any road rage moments of late.
I like that because the text line was fired up for that one. For whatever reason, we talked about that.
I mean, I think driving is going to be bad everywhere you go. There's people that can't drive or just don't pay attention enough to be able to be a good driver. So it does hit different, but we have to continue to strive.
You got to drive regardless.
You got to, yeah.
And your guys' experience, what's the town that you've been to that has the worst driving?
Probably Miami.
Miami? I didn't drive.
Yeah, Miami. And it's not worse because they can't drive. It's just they drive crazy.
I'd rather them drive crazy than drive slow.
Yeah. Miami and New York.
You wouldn't rather somebody drive crazy than drive like.
Yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is that they can drive. I don't think people can and cannot drive. I just think their styles. The Midwest, for me, is just very, very slow in general.
Very cautious.
Yeah,
little overcautious sometimes.
Yeah. Maybe, and I'm looking at, I look at myself here. I feel like an alien here half the time when I'm walking around because, like, I feel like I'm so different than people here and what's going on here.
It's not,
so,
a lot more white people.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm used to. I mean, sure. Everywhere you go is more white people. But that's not it. And completely, it's just the Midwest. Like I said, the pace. The pace is different. When we talk, especially talking about driving, we talk about driving.
100%.
Trying to get somewhere at a certain time. Like people here, that's just the norm. I'm outside of the norm, so that's why I complain because it's like, bro, you can't do 20. Like that's more hazardous to me than speeding. Doing 20 in the 35, right? Like,
and then get mad at you when you go around.
When you go around, they look at you crazy. Or they'll speed up.
That's what
so
drives
you
me
can't
nuts.
go around.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, you were doing 20, so I'm just gonna go around you. I'm not mad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go around. But as soon as I start to go around, then you want to speed up, so I can't get in front of you. Like, what is that doing?
Yeah. Is it ever weird for you guys when you're like are driving on the highways in Nebraska? Because you guys are a place where you got multiple lanes, and now you're just one-on-one.
Let me take this one. I can't stand the highways out here. And it's not even for the reason you said. Like, that's one thing, but it's just the most, like, especially when I'm using my GPS trying to get to Omaha or something like that, it is the most confusing thing ever. There'd be like 6 different exits to like 7 different ways, and then the GPS is telling me go this way, and then like the amount of times that I've had to do like a 20-minute detour on my way to Omaha is unheard of. Like,
it is pretty insane. There's that what road? It's if you're heading to North Bend, it's been blocked off forever. It's probably been like 2 years. So every time I gotta go home, Hartington, 3 hours, go northeast corner of Nebraska. I gotta take like a 30-minute detour, and it's been under construction for like 2 years. I'm like, what? I think it's because they got flooded super bad that one year. So I wonder if they're reworking on, trying to figure out ways to get the water, but it's taking
they're fixing it at a Midwest pace. It may take some years to get it done. I mean, the highway for me here is a little different because there's nothing there. Like if you're taking a 40-minute drive,
you better have a good podcast.
You're taking a 40-minute drive of looking at nothing. There's no landmarks, there's no other cars, there's nothing. You in LA, you take 40-minute drive, you probably get like 10 miles.
Yeah. No disrespect to Kearney, but the Kearney Bridge, I like the fact that that's like such a exciting checkpoint for people.
I've never even been to the Kearney Bridge.
Is that on the way to Omaha?
Oh, is that little thing?
No. But
that's going the other way.
If you head out west.
Far.
Yeah, it's going the other way. I went by. We drove here to Nebraska twice actually.
Okay, that's a drive.
So that's why I know that Kearney.
I still don't understand it.
Yeah. That was something I said I would never ever do in my life. But see, that's how much I love my kid. I actually did it. I did it twice.
And he said that he loves the kid, and I still don't understand it.
I said I would.
I love
never
you too, Pops, but I'm not driving 24 hours.
22 hours. One time we did it straight.
That's
my wife. Me and my wife and my mom. Well, my mom, she was just in the back seat passenger. But my wife and I straight 23 hours to get here one day.
That's crazy.
And then when we came back, when we moved here over the summer, we did it again, but we stopped in Colorado overnight and kind of chopped it up, which wasn't bad.
Yeah, I'll do anything to avoid those long drives. My high school, went to.
Speaking of Colorado, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, go for it. Go for it.
No, I just wanted to point out my dislike of the Denver airport, just so everybody knew.
We should just change our show to things that we don't like.
Well, there are a lot of things that I don't like.
There's a lot of things that we don't like. So, Lloyd, what do Lloyds like and dislike? Because we have shows about that.
Well, I can really talk about the Denver airport for an hour.
That place has got some stories. What's the number one thing you don't like about it, though?
I just don't like it. I can't even explain it to you. Every time I have to fly from California to Denver, stop there, and then come to Lincoln, and I just can't stand the airport.
Yeah. First thing I don't like landing in Denver. That's the worst
being
part,
there.
First of all,
I've gotten layovers.
Then they
so
have
many times there.
I'm just talking about the weather. Flying over them damn Rocky Mountains.
And then the terminal I'm always in has zero food.
Yeah, they got a bad terminal. They got a pretty bad terminal in there that is like a desolate desert or something.
And then every time I'm there, I got like a 2-hour layover.
Yeah, Denver ain't it. And then it's close. It's like if we fly from LA, you get to Denver, then you got to get on the damn little crop duster to get from there to Lincoln.
Yeah, I'm in there 6'6", trying to squeeze in as a one row. Like, how you got a 1-row plane?
Yeah, that's it. It's just not it.
Yeah, we don't have time to talk about it, but if you want to go on a deep dive, the Denver airport is like littered with crazy conspiracy theories.
Is that right?
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
It is
they think it's like a
story.
I didn't know that.
I'm like, I don't know if it's true or anything.
No, we're
so
gonna
I'm
look it
not
up.
even
We're
gonna
gonna talk about it
on
in the next show.
Yeah, the next show, because I got to do some research, because some of those things I don't even want
do
to
your
say on
homework
there.
on it.
Right.
Do your homework on the Denver
Do
airport.
your homework.
But yeah, it's maybe we'll have to dive into that one next.
If you guys want to hear me talk about the Denver airport, I'm going on Instagram Live to complain about it right now. So tap in.
Tap into Ramel Lloyd Jr.'s live stream on Instagram. But this is going to be it for Lloyds in Lincoln. We'll see you guys next Sunday.
Hey.